So the next speaker is a man who doesn't need any introduction. Actually, you know what, DJ? Just pull up the music. Coming to the stage, we have our brother, the visionary for the Foundational Black American Conference and Rally for Reparations, our brother, Tariq. Nasheed. Give it up, give it up.
What's up, DC? I said, what's up, DC? Who's from DC here?
Right here. Right here.
The home of Frederick Douglass. DC, the home of Dick Gregory.
Yep.
The home of Marion Barry. The home of Dave Chappelle.
Yep.
The home of Mambo sauce.
Yes, sir.
What y'all putting in that Mambo sauce? DC, we're here, the Rally for Reparations. Look at this beautiful crowd. Give yourselves a round of applause. Now, family, it's a couple of days before midterms. We're letting the political structure know we want tangibles as foundational Black Americans.
Facts.
And we're not going to let them redefine what reparations mean, right? Is reparations student loan debt?
Hell no.
Is reparations HBCU funding? Is reparations minority business loans?
Hell no.
Is reparations catfish nuggets? What's reparations? Money! What's reparations?
Money.
What's reparations?
Money.
Give yourselves a round of applause. Now, family, when we talk about reparations, we get the same 7 rebuttals from the dominant society, and we need to know how to address their rebuttals when we talk about what we need to get as far as reparations.
Well, I know.
The first thing that they say is, well, wouldn't reparations be divisive?
No.
Wouldn't that make people in the dominant society not like you?
They don't like us already.
Are you here to be liked by the dominant society? Tina Turner told us, what's love got to do with it? We're trying to get our money. We're already divided, but they control our resources. So we want them to divide our money and give it back to us because we are owed a debt as foundational Black Americans.
Facts.
The second thing that they try to tell us is, well, other people suffered, it just wasn't Black people. Irish people were enslaved. Italian people were lynched. Native Americans were mistreated and they're not complaining, so why are you Blacks complaining?
Because they got reparations.
Well, the thing is, these people are not complaining because they were compensated. The Irish, who were indentured servants, they got something called freedom dues after their contract ran out. They got money, land, and weapons. They were compensated, then they were brought into white society to join all the benefits and reap all the gains of being white. When the Italians were lynched down in New Orleans, there was a situation where there was a mass lynching of Italians. Their families were compensated, and the country of Italy was compensated, and the Italians were allowed into white society to reap the benefits.
Break it down.
The Native Americans, we know the red ones, they were compensated. They broke off all types of money, and many of them enslaved us as well, so they need to be cutting a check too. The third rebuttal that they have for us is, well, if you want to get reparations, FBAs, why don't you go to the Africans who sold you? Have y'all heard that one?
Yeah.
Well, I say to that, number one, the African who sold us, well, he got a one-off. Number two, those countries don't exist no more.
Right.
Those countries over there were colonized and they were absorbed into the white European power structure. So all of their resources were drained. So they need to get the resources from the white power structure in Europe that dominated them, while we're getting money from the white power structure that dominated us, the United States government.
Facts.
Another rebuttal they say, well, all white people didn't even own slaves during slavery. So how are white people responsible? We didn't all own slaves.
They all benefited.
But it was a slave economy.
They all benefited.
Everybody benefited from the slave economy.
Thank you.
So if you were a white person in the 1800s working for the train station economy was built on the resources that were taken back and forth from the south to the north. So you owe. If you worked for an insurance company in the 1800s, yeah, you didn't own a slave, but you were insuring slaves and you were making money off slavery. If you were a white person in the 1800s working for a bank or a factory, you were getting all the raw materials and refining it in those northern factories, benefiting from slavery. So the whole economy was based on the labor of our foundational Black American ancestors. The next rebuttal is, well, my family came over after the Civil War.
Okay.
So I wasn't even here during slavery. So how do I owe? When your family was over there in the slums of Europe, they heard about a country that was built up off the wealth from the free labor of our ancestors. And they knew that that wealth was mass distributed from our hands into white society and locked in racially. And they sat over there in Europe and said, sign me up, I want to go over there and be a part of that. Amen. So since you want to be a part of it, you're part of the debt and you owe too. The sixth one they say is, well, there's already been reparations paid to Black people. Welfare and affirmative action. Number one, welfare was created for white women in the 1930s. Number two, most welfare recipients in America are white people in middle America. The welfare capital is Owsley County, Kentucky, where 99% of the people are white and on welfare. That's the welfare capital. Yep. And as far as affirmative action, we know that affirmative action benefits white women more than anybody. So is affirmative action reparations? No. Exactly. And the last thing they say, family, they say, well, listen, why should I, as a good white person, be on the hook for something that I didn't do? Why should my tax dollars pay for something that I didn't do? I didn't own a slave.
I didn't do the Holocaust.
Did any of you remove red Native Americans from their land?
No.
Your tax dollars go to pay for them now.
Yeah.
Did any of you put people in concentration camps in Germany?
No.
Your tax dollars go to pay off some of the victims of the Holocaust.
Amen.
Did any of you put Japanese Americans in internment camps in World War II?
No.
But your tax dollars go to pay the Japanese families.
And my grandparents.
Did anybody here fly a plane in the World Trade Center? You know some of your tax dollars go to those victims too. Did you create a war in Afghanistan? Billions of your tax dollars go to the Afghanistani people. Did you cause a war in the Ukraine? Billions of your tax dollars go to the Ukrainian citizens.
Bro, you gonna have to move. You in front of the camera.
So since we're giving all of our tax dollars to these people who are not even citizens for the most part, we're going to make sure the real compensation and the real check is going to be cut for the people who deserved it, who built this country from the ground up, who cultivated the culture in this country. Foundational Black Americans, ladies and gentlemen. Say reparations. FBA.
FBA.
Give yourselves a round of applause. Now, family, coming to the stage, our next guest, this is a brother you all know and love. He's a mainstay in our Hidden Color series films. This is a master teacher who I love and respect so much from New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for brother Kaba.